Jake, I'm excited for your full report.
Full report about what, Scott?
Previously, we talked about AEW Fight Forever is available for PlayStation Plus members, and you're a PlayStation Plus member, so obviously you played the game.
Oh, was I supposed to play? I didn't play it.
You didn't play AEW Fight Forever?
No.
It's free for you.
Yeah, I think I added it to my library.
You didn't play a free wrestling game?
No.
And I guess we'll do news of the week.
News of the week today on Pro Wrestling Palskis. Scott Narver.
Hey, Jake Lloyd Bacon.
We are not currently live with our Patreon Palskis. I'm in some interim space at the moment here. Do apologize to those who are hoping to tune in live for this week's program, but we will be live again this upcoming weekend, Sunday, the question mark? What is that? Sunday
7 days from now?
16th. Sunday the 16th. But just because we're live does not mean that we don't have to acknowledge the current.
We're not live.
The current.
You just said just because we're live.
Just because we're not live, we don't have to acknowledge. Tamina. The current PWP champ, Gilbert Short, for the month of June. Gilbert Short, back-to-back champ, now tied. I have an apology to make, by the way. It was brought to my attention, and also I noticed it myself when I was making the new updated PWP Championship history page for the live stream.
Yeah.
I kept saying that Gilbert now tied Andrea Beeler for longest title reigns, and that previously,
which you stood by, and you said if I'm wrong, I'll fucking fight whoever challenges me.
I said that?
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like me. But
in
also
a fight pit.
Oh, that sounds like me.
An NXT fight pit.
That sounds just
with
like
Kurt
me.
Angle wobbling around.
Well, Brian Holloway also was a back-to-back champ. In fact, the first back-to-back champ. So Andrea Beeler was the second. So it is actually a three-way tie for longest title reign between Gil, Andrea, and Brian Holloway. If you would like to get your name in the running, if you would like to ensure that Gilbert does not win next month and become the 3-month reigning champion, well, then you got to become a championship level Palski over at patreon.com/PW Palskis.
This sounds like you have taken a standard wrestling authority position on this, that you're now looking to ensure that Gilbert Short doesn't continue on with a championship reign.
No.
Because with your authority figure, you need someone else to be champion. Who exactly, you don't know, because it seems like an authority figure is never happy with any champion, especially if they're cheered by an audience. The one that like brings in money, and the authority figure is like, no, God, no, tickets are selling and merch is selling, no. But you want Gilbert Short's reign to end. You're a tyrannical figure.
No, that's not the case at all. I'm trying to inspire desire, a hunger in the listeners. I don't care whether Gilbert continues or not.
Ooh.
But nothing, it does not affect me in any way whatsoever. But I, as the promoter of said federation, I don't know, said Patreon membership, am simply trying to get more people in the game. So by me saying, if you want to make sure that he doesn't become, then you got to become a patron. I'm not saying I need you to stop him. I'm saying, aren't you sick of it? Aren't you, the listener, sick of his shit? So I'm trying to.
You are.
Yeah, no, I'm just
You're
using
projecting.
the people. No, I'm not. Listen, it's just rage bait. I just want to make people angry. It's like the people who like post stuff about like, oh, this person I think said something about this person. What do you guys think? Like they don't care. The person posting that doesn't care, but knows
I do care.
that people will. Okay, what do you care? What so you?
I want everyone to be happy.
Oh, that we will not get ahead if everybody's happy. We need
What do you
people
mean?
to be angry.
Well, that's what you are.
What? Angry?
You're an angry person.
Not always.
You keep that hat on your head to keep from blowing your top.
No, I don't need to wear. I wear the hat so that
Oh, Jesus. Put
I
it back
can
on.
promote it. All right, never mind. Fuck you. I was gonna take it off because I was like, "Oh, we're not on video right now. We're not live, so I don't need to promote the shop." But
But there is a shop with plenty of great merchandise for all of your holiday needs.
July 4th is right around the corner. You got to get your Hot Dog Mania shirt. You will be the hit of your barbecue. I guarantee you.
You'd be the king and or queen of the Saudi Arabia cookouts that you go to.
I don't think that they celebrate 4th of July in Saudi Arabia.
Do they not?
No, I
Are
don't
they
think
not
so.
going to have the Great American Bash in Saudi Arabia this year?
I don't think so. But I could be
That
wrong.
seems
I don't
unlikely.
know. I did not do very well in social studies.
I don't think.
I mean,
the
they
prince did
celebrate
either.
They celebrate Mansoor there, and I'm pretty sure he was born in America, so he's American. But they really love him, right?
Sure, they have to,
Or else what?
or else they got to sit higher up in the seats.
Oh, okay.
And it's back to all the princes and all the business people sitting down in the front and ignoring the show.
In fairness, they haven't done that since like the first or second one. Like they've learned their lesson. I think they're still there, but they're now opposite hard. They're on the same side as hard camera, so we don't see it as much.
Who knows? Who knows?
Listen, I know we have to talk about wrestling news, and this is not a snack podcast, but I just saw these over the corner of my eye because they're behind my monitor, and I wanted to ask you, Scott. Hang on, because we talk about snacks a lot in this show. Have you ever had these? Dots homestyle pretzels?
No.
These are my new favorite snack, period. Hands down. There's nothing in the world better than these. They come in a few
So
different flavors.
I'm already upset by it. Like there's a dot and an oots. What are these
Oots
people
can
are just
go-
lazy.
Uts or oots can go. But this is Dots is a person. Dots is literally someone named Dot. Look, there she is.
That's Dixie Carter.
That's not Dixie Carter. Her name
That's
is Dot.
Dixie Carter.
It says Dot right there.
Oh, it's Dotsy Carter.
Dotsy
It's her sister.
Any case, Scott,
Dotsy
before
Carter makes pretzels, and Dixie Carter wouldn't sell them at the impact zone.
Dixie Carter was trying to get people to wrap each other up like pretzels.
Yeah, and then she's like, if I'm going to sell those, then I'm going to have to sell drinks because it's going to be too salty. And then she brings in fucking Dr. Pepsi Carter.
At least Dr. Pepsi Carter got their doctorate. Like that's not easy.
Yeah.
That's a higher education for sure. Scott, before our next recording, I want you to see if you can find these in your local supermarket, assuming you're going to go to the supermarket at all this week. Because I'm curious of your take. I think they're the greatest snack that's ever existed.
The greatest snack, a
Yeah.
pretzel?
Yeah. And
So something that's already
okay.
dry
So
is the greatest snack.
there's like the home style. I don't know what there's like the main regular original, and that's fucking incredible. There's a bunch of different flavors, but they also have
Why?
honey
Is
mustard.
it soft?
The honey, no, it's just the fucking flavorful. It's like the best flavor. And the honey mustard ones are so fucking good. These are so good. These are going to be a staple of this program.
That is not just
In
honey
fact-
mustard.
What do you
It
mean?
says honey mustard seasoned, and it says seasoned in bigger letters than honey mustard.
Yeah. Well, listen, design is tough. It's a honey wheat pretzel. Honey
Wow,
mustard
wheat,
pretzel
huh?
twist.
Wheat is the best snack?
Look, it
That's
says
not true.
slightly sweet, a little salty, a subtle tang. Come on now. These are going to be a staple. I'm trying to get sponsored by Dots here. This is going to sit in the, I know that we're not on video, so nobody sees this, but in all the other videos, it's going to be right there. That's going to be the show from now on.
I have just recently had, speaking of snacks, something that I think you should get
Okay.
for alluding to what's happening a little bit later when you maybe hit the road, because you're going to have to constantly pull over and get more. There's a Doritos late night chip. I'm going to see, because I took a photo and sent it to friends. Late night sizzlin' with an apostrophe, no G, sizzlin' cheeseburger.
A sizzling cheeseburger is the flavor.
Yes.
Okay. That could go either way. Do you like the ketchup flavored stuff?
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, see, that stuff is really kind of repulsive to me. And I feel like I put this in the same category, but maybe not.
Because ketchup and potatoes don't go together.
Yeah, no. Gross. I also don't like ketchup as a dip for things.
I know you like 4 foods.
The only ketchup I put ketchup on hot dogs mixed with mustard, and that's it. I'm not a big ketchup guy. I put a little barbecue on there.
I like ketchup.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I get it.
No, you don't. You just talked about how you don't.
I get why people like it.
Because of their taste buds?
Yeah, exactly.
But this sizzling cheeseburger, delicious, could easily eat the whole bag. One of those.
Yeah, all right.
And not feel bad about it. Feel great. Feel energized.
So wait, I'm going to write this down.
Feel like I really go into a hospital and go, I'm fine, and then pass out.
Was this thing that you found easily?
In Ralph's.
Oh.
It wasn't a separate spot of like, hey, this is a new thing.
Like special.
I didn't check the chip aisle.
And these are, you did say these are Doritos, right? They have
Doritos,
to be. Yeah,
yes.
They have to be with a flavor like that. Okay, sizzling cheeseburger. I will try to get them before next week. If you try to get Dots home-style pretzels in any flavor you prefer. Well, no, not in any flavor. One of the...
How many are there?
I've seen 4 of them.
4?
I've seen the original, honey mustard, something spicy. I don't remember, like a chili lime or something like that. And then I've seen like a sweet one, a cinnamon sugar one, which I was like, that seems like a different category. Listen, it says it right here. You can go to dotspretzels.com and find out. Okay, sizzling cheeseburger Doritos. I put it on the list.
You can take, and I'm already going to lose you on this, I'm sure.
Okay.
You can taste ground beef. You can taste cheese.
Okay.
And you can taste pickle.
All right. Okay.
It's delicious.
I'm
intrigued. They cracked the code.
I am intrigued.
Cracked the code.
They figured it out. This is the greatest
if
achievement.
If you want a cheeseburger chip, they done did it.
All right. Well, it's on the list. Next week we will be live on Sunday. So if
that's hopefully the plan.
Yes.
Card subject to change.
Sure, as it always is. But let's aim for us having a little snack time Sunday.
Okay. Snack off. Snack down.
Snack down. There we go.
Oh no, I know that's taken. That's already taken. That's actually in the WWE new headquarters.
Is it really snack down?
They have a snack down.
I mean, that doesn't mean that we can't use it because we're not selling it. We're just saying the word.
Okay. In honor of WWE headquarters snack down, we too shall have a snack down.
Okay. There's also a snack tack, like attack, but with snack maybe. A snack? No, I got nothing. I think snack down's the only one we should do.
Maybe having a snack stroke.
Well, Scott, this is a wrestling podcast. After all, some things must happen in the world of wrestling. I haven't been paying attention, but I know you have watched with bated breath about everything that's happened. And you're going to fill me in.
Yeah, I got worms on my breath because I love the boogeyman. Bated breath. So before we get into the news, let's just tease something that's going to be coming up a little bit later that you had mentioned in our pre-show.
Oh, yeah?
Something to address, like the upcoming shows will be talked about.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Schedule is going to be a little bit wonky. We are begun our plan to get back to the West Coast so that I could see my baby boy, Scott Narver, in person. We'll talk a little bit later, but in case you're the kind of person who just bails halfway through when you hear your favorite news story and you go, I don't care about the fucking Palskis. The short version is lots of travel coming up, lots of erratic scheduling, and shit's going to be weird, but we'll do the best we can.
Okay. More on that later, but now for a couple of morons with the news. Oh, it is a sad day. The news has been announced that Ricochet informs WWE he is leaving when his contract expires. PW Insider first reported the news, adding that the High Flyer is expected to be written out of storylines in advance of the contract's end. the date of which isn't known publicly yet. He is currently the WWE Speed Champion after winning the inaugural tournament and is set to defend against Andrade El Idolo, which was taped just recently for the air this upcoming week.
I mean, the first ever WWE Speed Champion, that's a really big deal. How are you going to let that guy go?
They're already going to have to change the history, change the video packages when they're like, all right, we can't acknowledge the first Speed Champion now. We're just going to have to kind of gloss over that.
I will say, like, I'm a little surprised by WWE not I mean, we don't know that they haven't fought for it because they do seem to really like this guy. Like, they use him a lot for a lot of things. And even though maybe his character and his like trajectory hasn't been as specific as it was in like his NXT days, it's not like he's not working. And I feel like, yeah, I'm curious about that. Also, isn't he dating Samantha Irvine? Aren't they together?
Really?
Yeah, I think they're an item. So does that mean that
maybe it's because she cried when saying Cody's name at WrestleMania? He's like, you never said my name that way. I won the Speed title and you weren't crying.
You don't do anything fun for my name.
Yeah.
You don't even do like a fun Chelsea Green thing. Ricochet.
That thing's horrible. I cannot stand that.
I know you don't. I love it.
What? It doesn't make any sense. Wouldn't Chelsea Green go over there and pop her in the face?
Why? Because she's making fun of her?
Chelsea Green. Like she says everyone else's name in a grandiose way.
Mocking her.
And then yeah, she's mocking a heel. Why wouldn't the heel go, the hell are you doing? Don't say my name that way. And then go over and choke her out. I don't get it.
Choke her out?
So maybe there's influence here because past opponent and current AEW International Champion Will Ospreay said in a recent interview that he thought Ricochet's deal might be up soon and called WWE's use of the former rival, quote, appalling.
That's a bit much.
Appalling. I think he could say that years ago. Like during a very blurry Vince time where it's just like, yeah, you're here. We occasionally use you. There's no ideas for you. And I don't know if there is a trajectory for something that Ricochet's involved in ever since Triple H, officially took over.
Well,
there's certainly been other stuff going on. He's featured all the time, but if there's a plan for him, when they're going like, we created a title and you're the guy. Where is this? It's on X. Oh, and the match has got to be less than 3 minutes and they have to be spectacular. Oh, so do it. I'm not having fun.
I'm tired. But also, this is a person who is an insane athlete who works in such a way that is very high octane at a high level consistently. Just because he's not renewing his contract doesn't mean that he's like, I'm going to work elsewhere. Because I'm sure he's been paid well. He might just be like, yeah, I'm taking some fucking time off.
I got to ice my knees.
Yeah, exactly. He might just be like, I'm going to go sit in an ice bath for the next year and a half.
But if you don't use it, you'll lose it.
Is that true?
I don't know. I never used it.
You never had it to lose.
I'm going to have it. Where do you get it?
What do you think, how do you feel about this? Do you think that he's destined to go someplace specific? Do you think that
this seems like one of those where he's in a position where he could leverage himself something good because in the realm of WWE right now, like they got a lot, right? They've got a whole lot of toys. They didn't get a whole lot out of him and Logan Paul, which seemed like a no-brainer.
Right.
They did a little bit, but it's like, hey man, if you're using him and if you got all these other people and you're putting me on fucking X, like, I don't know, go just bail for 2 years, wait for things to change up a little bit, leave on good graces, do everything nice, play well, go get out there and do some other stuff, go get paid. So everyone would love to have him. He's going to have the the exciting matches that you want to see anywhere else. New Japan. Clearly, Ospreay is probably saying, like, come to AEW.
Right, yeah.
You'll be miserable within 3 months, but they'll pay you so much stupid money.
And that first week, you will be a very big deal. Week 2, not so much.
Yeah, they'll immediately ruin everything. That would be an amazing thing to do, is chronologically go through and look at, because I know it's a constant joke with Cornette, but it certainly has rang true with conversations with you and Warzeka about when people are usually brought in the beginning, their initial wrestling run goes very poorly, or the character is found later.
Right.
Like, there's always things where it's 6 months later. Oh, now we got it.
Right.
Now we got it.
Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should just pick. That's a good idea for a future episode. We'll pick like 5 talents who showed up in AEW that were a big deal, and we'll just take a look at their first 2 months. And like, what did they do in their first 2 months of being there? Or we could make it more broad and say like their first feud, or like their first match. You know what I mean? Like a first big high profile thing. And we're like, all right, let's take a look.
First feud doesn't always work out with that show.
That's why, yeah, sure.
But yeah, I think he can go anywhere. I could certainly see a year or two at AEW to do stuff with Ospreay.
Right.
You know, I could see everybody throwing down for him, but WWE, I think, also has made plays for him. But like, hey man, we're happy to have you here. But if he's acknowledging like, yeah, but you don't have anything for me,
right?
That they'd be like, yeah, okay, then we'll see you later.
He's also
but open on their end too, that they're not going like, fuck you, then we're done.
He is also like, at least from my point of view, he seems like he's a Triple H guy. Like he seems like he comes from that class of NXT that Triple H was in the most control over. Like he seems like I can't imagine that they don't have a great relationship. And I can't imagine that this is because of some sort of ill will, as much as it is, like you said, like, yeah, you got nothing for me right now, and that's fine. And, you know, I'll come back or I'll go someplace else, or I'll just go nowhere. And I'm just going to go take some time off. Like,
yeah, leverage yourself to more money, because WWE's probably got a price cap for him right now, and it's not going to be much higher.
You know what?
It'll just be, we'll sign you for longer.
Now that I think of it, thinking about him in NXT, I think I know why they let him go. It's because they can't use that clip of him jumping from the ring, doing a flip and landing directly in front of Velveteen Dream. They can't use that in video packages anyway. So they're like, well, let's just get rid of the other guy.
Why? Because there's someone problematic in a video?
Yeah. They don't have anybody problematic in any of their highlight videos.
Never cut around that ever.
No.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I know that you're not a big fan of his talkie talks.
No.
That doesn't bug me as much.
You got to go to school with Tamina, learn the talkie talks.
What if he just goes back under a mask?
Fine.
Yeah. He was
Great.
Prince Puma. Was that who he was?
In Lucha Underground, yeah.
Lucha Underground. Yeah. He should go to Lucha Underground. He should go back there.
Yeah, because money's definitely not a problem there.
I mean, it's underground, obviously.
Yeah, you can't. It's not where ATMs live. Have you ever seen an ATM underground? No. They don't work.
That's not true. I think I've seen one or two.
The cord's not long enough.
The cord's... What else you got
for us? The money
us?
cord. It's got to filter through there.
Yeah, I've seen the banks. I remember the old drive-through banks, little tubes. Everything is tubes.
Yeah. Well, while we may be losing Ricochet in the world of WWE, we've already lost someone in the world of WWE, not from this earthly realm, but they are going to show up in other places now. It's been announced Jinder Mahal is scheduled to return to the ring next month. The former WWE champion will wrestle at BLP Old Habits Die Screaming, which I got to say, that's a wrestling show name right there.
Oh my God. What I love about it is that they didn't go for the pun. They were just like, hey, you know that phrase, that popular phrase about old habits dying hard? Yeah. What if we just changed one of the words to screaming? Boom.
What, old? No, I want to keep old.
Screaming habits die hard.
Yeah. Well, that's a top-notch wrestling show name.
Yeah,
where you go,
pretty good.
Hey, next month is Old Habits Die Screaming. You want to go? Yes, I do. That'll be on July 26th in Chicago. Mahal will be wrestling under the name the Maharaja. I hope I get this right. Raj Desi.
The Maharaja Raj Desi. I I've always liked Jinder Mahal. I feel like he's good at the things he does, right? Like he's tasked with a lot of silly shit. I don't think he's
tasked with a lot of generic shit.
That's kind of, that's what I mean. And I've always thought he was a perfectly fine wrestler for the role he's supposed to play. He's supposed to be the boot. Like people are like, God, he's so boring to watch. It's like, no, he's yes, you're right. He is boring. He is making you boo him and making your high flyer that you want to see jump around fucking sit in a rest hold. That's what it's supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
I do feel like in a different timeline, his release and Drew's release, he went and already did his exploration and became a star elsewhere, and that he was where Drew is now, because I feel like that would have been nice. That doesn't mean he can't go do that now later in life and go.
But he just said he had 2 sets of these rather than Drew, who had 1.
And he didn't make the most of those moments like the way Drew did.
I don't know. He got super yoked.
I know. And the thing is that he talked about, I remember back when I could fucking stomach listening to Chris Jericho, I listened to his Talk is Jericho years and years ago because I thought it was interesting. I was like, oh, this is a guy who I'm curious to learn more about his outlook.
Yeah.
And it was a really good conversation, good interview. And he says it was all really just like getting my head out of my ass and growing up and trying to refocus and like accepting that they got rid of me. And his whole goal was like getting in graces to get back. His wasn't the Drew, like, I'm going to go make a star. Like, I'm going to go figure out what I do and where my value is. And I do think that, I don't know, maybe Jinder would have, benefited at that age and at that point in time from doing something similar. But, everybody has their own, hold-ups and shit.
But his is clearly, I feel like his exit is certainly more murky and more strange, where you go, I don't know if they want me back, WWE.
Right.
Because he's talked about publicly, like, working with Gortz and The Rock, and it's Rock saying, like, yeah, man, you're going to be around and we're going to do things and it's going to be great.
Right.
And they didn't. And he was brought back under the Triple H era. He's doing stuff and he didn't go, yeah, hey, we got big ideas for you. Let's do this, that, and the other. So go do something else. Go to old habits, die screaming.
Well, I hope that they're not calling him the old habit.
No, he's die screaming.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Wait,
are they a tag team? Are they a tag team? Who's old habit then?
Yeah. The headbangers.
Is it Heath Slater? Oh, okay, never mind.
He'll also be appearing live at WrestleCade in Winston-Salem, North Carolina on November 29th to December 1st. So if you're in that area and you got WrestleCade near you, it's a great way to go meet him and go like, oh man, when are you going to go back to WWE? And be like, I've never been asked that before. That's a great question.
Well, you can't hinder Raj, whatever it does. You can't use that no more. There's no word.
Raj Desi. But if everybody's calling him the Maharaja, he's good, you know?
Of course. I was just trying to think of the hinder Jinder thing. And I was like, oh, I would have kept a way to make that rhyme work still.
Oh, but something with Raj.
Right. You can't put Raj in a garage. Can't keep Raj in the garage.
5% right there, Raj Desi. 5% to Jake Lloyd Bacon for coming up with that. That's not a freebie.
No.
It's a 5%er.
No.
Isn't that a little strange, though? The Maharaja Raj Desi?
Yeah.
Is there other names like that where it's some sort of status or moniker, but also has
a part of the name is in it? Probably. It's not going to come to us, but I'm sure at some point. I was thinking
of something with Bob Holly, but something with Bob in it.
Right,
sort of
Bobcat Holly.
Yeah, it'd be like,
right.
That's a lot of Bobs.
Yeah. Bob Holly. Yeah.
WWE star Asuka shares update on her knee injury. She's been out of action since WWE Backlash, and she posted a photo of her knee in a brace to social media, and it's got a lot going on there. She revealed on her YouTube channel she's been taking a break for WWE to treat a knee injury that has been bothering her for a while. Quote, after the backlash of my European tour, I had to take a break to treat my knee that I had been hurting for a while. My partners Kari and Dakota helped me a lot during this tour as I could not move at my best. I am very grateful to both of them.
I mean,
so it hurts.
Yeah. I haven't been watching the past couple weeks. Are they still the women's tag champs?
No.
Okay.
That's it's Bianca and
got it. And
Jade Cargill.
We'll call her Cade. Cade Jargill.
Cade Jargill. And then also another update. There was I was looking through, and it's kind of a slow news week, and there were a lot of updates on people's injuries. And I went, well, I'll just pick two of the highlights. Like, I know you love Asuka very, very much, and I feel everyone wants to know when the hell Rhea Ripley is due to return. Right. So an update for her. Shoulder injury had forced Rhea to vacate the Women's World Championship this April. Ripley stated at the time that she would be out of action for quite a few months and that she vowed she would be coming back for that world title. But according to Dave Meltzer, who gets everything right, he says, quote, Ripley is rehabbing her shoulder rather than having surgery. Right now, she's not scheduled to be back for SummerSlam, but we were also told if she heals up faster than expected, or if the storyline changes to where they need her for an appearance, it's still possible. If rehab can't mend the shoulder enough, she could need surgery. There you have it. 8-star news account by Dave Meltzer.
I don't think 8 is enough. I think that deserves far more stars.
Oh shit. 13.5.
Meltzer should host Whose Line Is It Anyway? Because the stars are made up. None of it matters.
Also, Deal or No Deal.
You know, why is that? Because he's a germaphobe?
Just picking fucking briefcases and he'd be like, right. I mean, three's good. Three's a really solid number. I don't want to pick 3. You should pick 3. Well, this is interesting though. I think as far as if she's not doing surgery,
right?
That's a really good sign.
Sure. Well, is it a good sign long term? Because if it's something
potentially
that her body can heal without the surgery, or that she's just gonna kick that can down the road.
I'm not a physical therapist.
Oh, God, if only we had a fucking physical therapist. I will say, well, I have not been watching the entirety of the weekly shows. I've been seeing the clips that have been posted. It seems like they are doing really fun, interesting things with Judgment Day and with Dom and Liv. And so she is set up in such a way that is...
He's a married man with a girl on the side and another girl on the side. What the hell? Is this the power of a mullet?
Listen, it's that Latino heat. You know, what do you get? What do you expect from the son of Eddie Guerrero?
Some decorum.
I mean, they are set up in such a way that her return will be huge, whether it's a year from now or next month. Like they've done a great job of making, of giving her a story to return to that is going to be very fun to watch.
I am very full up on champion is going strong, and then here I am in the middle of the ring to do another bummer. I'm relinquishing my title.
Right.
I wish she hadn't fallen into that trap as well.
Yeah,
it's overplayed. It's overdone. I think there's plenty of other ways to do it and to certainly get the same result of she's already naturally becoming a baby face.
Sure, of course. Yeah.
You could still do it in a way where she's screwed out of something and, made a baby face for it. But right. I think she will still make it work no matter what.
Yeah, I will say this People love her. There have been so many titles just handed away in recent 5 years. Do you know what I mean? Like even a little bit more than that. Like I feel like it's become a lot more because there's just a lot more titles. People are wrestling a lot harder getting a lot more
You
injured.
might have the speed championship just given away.
Right. Ricochet's just going to be like, I got to leave it in the title. Leave it in the rim. But I will say in this instance, I don't dislike the Rhea Ripley as a character being like, I never lost that championship. Like, you're a fake champion. Like, this is that, like, you know, the CM Punk, John Cena. I like, sometimes I like this. Go way back to the, you know, the Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels. Like, there's every now and then I do like this story of, yeah, she's a champ, but nobody beat Rhea Ripley, so nobody's a champ. And so when Rhea comes back, she can still have that chip on her shoulder as no one ever beat me for this
the
title.
Undisputed title.
Yeah, exactly. And so I do think that this story is okay in this instance because I think Rhea's a good character for it. I just don't think that it always works for all the characters. But in this instance, I don't dislike it, to be honest with you.
Okay. So what do you think? SummerSlam? If we were DraftKings right now, what would you put your money on?
When is SummerSlam? August or July?
It's the biggest party of the summer, Jake.
I know. I just don't know the date of it. I wasn't invited. I didn't get the fucking mail.
Oh.
Yeah.
You didn't get it?
No, I didn't get the little gold leaf, nice cardstock mail that they sent out.
Delivered from an owl.
To save the date.
See, SummerSlam 2024.
You don't know it either. You got to look it up. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I'm not going.
But it's the biggest party of the summer.
Yeah, but it's in Cleveland.
Oh.
I've been there. Saturday, August 3rd.
I don't know.
No, it is.
I think she probably will come back for that, but I don't think she should. I'm worried. I just don't want people to wrestle hurt. I don't want people to come back too early. I want everybody to have nice long careers.
Boo, wrestle hurt, get paid, keep doing it, leave your families.
Old habits, die fucking screaming. Bloody murder.
CTE.
That's, you know what? That's a fucking, how has nobody made a wrestling organization whose initials are CTE?
I don't know.
Oh, man.
Entertainment, is that still the E?
The E is still entertainment.
Cerebral trauma entertainment.
No. You can't draw a picture around it that way. It has to be. Okay. It has to be like subtle. It has to be like, you know.
I thought I was being subtle.
Championship toughness. Championship tough enough. Championship tough enough. CTE.
Tough enough. It's all one word. Tough enough.
Is there like a synonym for grappling or?
Nope.
T.
It's only grappling.
Starts with a T. What do you call it? Tussle. Ooh, championship tussling.
And then entertainment?
Extreme.
Extravaganza?
Extravaganza.
No one uses extravaganza.
There we go. Championship tussling extravaganza is the name of a company. And everybody chants CTE. CTE.
Sign me up.
Should I write this down?
Sign me up for CTE.
Is this going to be the newest t-shirt?
Sure is.
Championship.
We're going to get Christopher Nowinski to endorse it.
Tussling. How do you spell tussling? Tussele? I'm sorry, Tussle, rather. Tussling.
That's tussle.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, there we go.
Drop the E for the ING.
Championship tussling extravaganza. CTE. Fuck. That's good. I mean, you know, it's not good.
Finally, it's time to start profiting off of CTE.
What should the graphic be? Just two heads hitting each other?
Yeah. Like when you have the Super Bowl, the helmets of the teams fighting each other.
Yes, exactly.
Just two, sort of maybe like an 80s and a 90s guy.
A luchador, someone with a mask on and someone with a mullet.
Well, you can't really see the trauma hitting the luchador mask as it crashes into.
Okay.
Because you want like the pained look in the eyes.
Right. And the crushed skull.
And the wincing face.
You want to look like a Mortal Kombat move.
Yeah, you want someone like out of like a Pit Fighter, the video game, and maybe a Final Fight.
Okay.
So speaking of tough competitors, WWE Hall of Famer Nikki Bella cast on the Traitors reality show. Jake, set that DVR.
What the fuck is this? I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well,
Nikki who?
Don't play McCoy cast with me. On Wednesday, it was revealed that Garcia is amongst the cast members for season 3 of The Traitors, a murder mystery inspired reality series that airs on Peacock.
Oh, the Traitors with a T. I thought you were saying Traders, like Tradeers. Traders. Got it. Traitors.
How many E's were in that Traitors?
Lots of E's. Listen, the one of them stood for extravaganza. The Traitors, yes, I know the Traitors. Hosted by Alan Cummings, not great.
Yes, he's not plural. He's just one.
Alexandra and I watched it. It's based on a British version that's a little bit better. My argument,
that's with a D.
Hearing she's cast on it is exactly the problem with the show. Is I watched the first few episodes of the first season of it, and had the cast been comics actors, like creatives that are kind of funny and quirky, and not what are essentially just like internet celebrities, like it's a bunch of just like reality TV show people versus like people that are fun and
Hold on. Let me put that to bed right now. Let me announce the other season 3 cast members. It includes Survivor winners Rob Mariano, Tony Vlachos, and Jeremy Collins, Big Brother legends Danielle Reyes and Brittany Hayes, and Tom Sandoval from Vanderpump Rules. I believe those are all comics and actors from Major Things, right?
Yeah, that's what ruined the show, is that it was like, I don't want to watch a fucking bunch of Real Housewives overacting in this. The premise of the show is, hey, we're going to make a very realistic scenario for a murder mystery. So when you have people who are always at an 11 and are not real in any capacity, the premise is stepped on, because it's no longer like, how would real people react to these strange situations and deal with it and try to figure the puzzles out and try to deal with the interpersonal relationships. Instead, it just becomes overproduced fucking Real Housewives Kardashian shit.
Okay. What if we put Logan Paul in it?
I mean, is he going to do a frog splash on someone?
He might, if he's along with Nikki Bella long enough.
Her name isn't Nikki Bella. They can't use that, I don't think.
Can't they call her the artist formerly known as Nikki Bella?
AKA.
Nikki Garcia and Brie Garcia.
Yeah.
What if they get Daddy in the show? Laurinaitis? Get him in there. Is there a prize? Is there prize money on the show?
He's gonna need it. Pay for the lawyers.
Yeah, for some court fees. Oh, there is a prize. The contestants are competing for a maximum
male model.
I've seen that before. A maximum grand prize of $250,000.
$250,000. Great.
So, that's a couple of days in court for old Johnny L. I think he could use it. Speaking of things going smooth as silk, TNA Impact to air on TNA Plus in addition to Access TV.
That's nice. Their weekly program will actually be on their streaming service. What a novel idea. And
in addition to that, it sounds like you're making light of it, but I know you're legit being serious.
No, I am making light of other companies who have failed to do this. And when like Raw and SmackDown couldn't be on the WWE network, it was absurd, but
until a month later.
Yep.
So here's one up on it. So the promotion's flagship show, TNA Impact, will now air on TNA Plus app at the same time it airs on Access TV on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern time.
And that program is
previously.
Let me ask a question first. That's
sure.
Completely pre-taped, right? That's not a live show.
I don't think there's any way that they can
right.
anymore. It's just like,
especially like to get an audience in weekly versus filming 4 of them in a night.
Yeah, from what I've heard, this is a rumor going around that they're looking for a new Impact Zone.
Got it.
Because why would you? To save on production costs and all that kind of stuff. Previously, Impact was only available in the streaming service on demand beginning at 10 p.m. Eastern time on Thursdays after it aired on Access TV. So this is legit a pretty big deal because I've been intrigued since they got the show coming up that I want to watch on Friday, and signing up for TNA Plus and having the option of watching the show live right away is outstanding, because once it happens and it gets a little bit older, I'm falling in the traps of other people I've known where they go, if it already happened, I don't really care to go back and watch it. I go, really?
Right.
That's weird. But now I'm falling into that.
Sure. I've kind of always been that way too.
But I don't know if anybody else can get this to work. I mentioned it in our Discord. The promotion is running a special for fans who subscribe to the TNA World Champion Annual Plan. Those who purchase a year-long subscription can use the code 2PPV to receive Bound for Glory and Slammiversary for free.
The number 2, the letter P, the letter P, the letter V, for
Correct.
4 cases.
No, the number 2 PPV.
Yeah, 4. That's what I'm saying. 4 cases.
And they receive Bound for Glory and Slammiversary for free. And new subscribers can also use the code TRYUS to receive 50% off for the first 2 months. Now, when I read that, and when others have read that, I'm not a big Reddit guy, but I took that as when you're signing up and you're a new subscriber, you can get 50% off.
Yes, for 2 months.
But do you rope that into it has to be the annual plan is what you're signing up for? Because it's a separate sentence.
50% off of what? 50% off of what cost?
Yeah, so it's it says a promotion for that. And when you look at it on the website with license misspelled, it's saying that you can get 2 months with the Trios thing, and it doesn't work. But I'm guessing it's only for the year sign up, which is not worth it. How can you sign up for a fucking year of that show?
Well, also, will it be around in 9 months? I mean, I don't mean TNA.
Exactly.
I mean this app, the pro. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant TNA.
Okay.
Because TNA Wrestling undergoing creative and live event team changes following resignation and layoffs.
Oh, okay. This is news.
TNA is reported by the Dave Meltzer had said that Robert R.D. Evans had resigned this week, with reporting that between the de facto head of creative and TNA had grown strained in recent weeks, which left Evans frustrated. And that Dave Sahadi is gone after being laid off. Sahadi was the company's creative director starting in 2019 and worked for the prior TNA ownership for 18 years as a director of broadcasts. Sahadi also worked as a creative director for WWE in the past. So it's currently unknown who was taking over as the lead of creative and how those spots are to be filled.
Do you have any ideas who should step in?
Well, I know it's not going to be Lou D'Angeli, who's the vice president of marketing, who has also parted ways with TNA Wrestling.
Jesus Christ. It's a mass exodus.
So D'Angeli is the former sign guy Dudley from ECW. He has been the vice president of marketing for Anthem Sports and Entertainment since March of 2022.
Wow. Not a long recent tenure.
And he's been WWE's director of marketing from 2006 to 2010 and later worked for Cirque du Soleil for 11 years. So I don't know if him and Scripps are buddies, but they should be.
Maybe him and Mason Ryan are.
Is Mason Ryan a Cirque du Soleil guy?
Yeah, he went into Cirque du Soleil, but he did the reverse scripts. He flipped the script. He started as a wrestler and then went into that, and he flipped the scripts.
Holy shit. I had no idea. I figured he'd be too big.
No, that's the strong base. You need big guys down low.
So as of the first weekend of August, they have no marketing team and they have no live events team. So it's pretty crazy now.
Don't worry.
Really pushing don't sign up for a year of programming.
I was going to say, don't worry, since they have no marketing and no live events, don't worry that you're not aware that the live show's happening, because it's probably not happening.
There's cards subject to change, cards subject to be booked, written, venue being found. But hey, Broken Matt Hardy's here maybe for a little bit. We still got Moose. That's their marketing, is just some guy yelling from a street corner. We still got Moose.
That's fucking funny.
pretty crazy right now. So Scott D'Amore is gone at the beginning of the year. Other people were leaving left and right, and it just seems open again. I don't know who's going to swoop in and take this beast on. That's so many cooks that they've gone through.
Yeah, I mean, is there somebody that's you can think of that's been in the company for a long time that could step up that's not in there? Does a Josh Matthews? I don't know. Like, how sad is it that that's like the only name that I associate with that company long term? But
I think there's people that are certainly good at positions, like having known Josh Matthews and worked with him in the past and like seeing what he does. Yeah. I don't know if he could take on the entire thing. Right, I don't know if that would be the passion or anything, but I've seen him in their social media department, in their YouTube, and crush it and do exceptionally well and like bring numbers. So seeing over a department, he's very good at. Someone who's, I don't know, when it comes to live events, Jeff Jarrett was that for for WWE for a hot minute, and he's been exceptional at that in the past with his grandmother being a promoter in Tennessee. Like, I think certainly you want to go to somebody a little bit old school with that, but there's probably other newer people who work in live events that could do well with it. They just have to know wrestling a little bit,
Right.
But creative wise, there's always guys that I think of, like an Al Snow or a Kevin Nash, that have done this before, or that when you hear them talk about it, they're really savvy and really smart. Again, I don't know if they want to take on an entire show like that to run everything. And then who do they like? Who do they not like? How many people are they going to bring in and fire or hire?
Also,
what's their budget?
Also, are their talents then wasted because now they're dealing with stuff that's more, corporate and less creative?
Yeah.
So are they dealing with
very,
too much?
Very possible.
Are they dealing with too much business and not enough art? I don't know.
Oh, there was this promoter. He did a lot of business for a while, and then he got basically fired. Vince McMahon.
I knew where that was.
Think of that. If Vince McMahon were in TNA, it seems like it's kind of a good fit for him right now. Like his brand.
Only if he signs Brock and changes the name to PNA.
Oh, allegedly.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I want TNA to exist and I want them to do well. But it does seem like AEW sort of stole their thunder as the number 2.
Well, even that's wavering quite a bit. Sure. It seems like a new number 2 can pop up in a minute here.
Of course.
So I'd certainly like there to be excitement associated with the brand, and because I'm going to try and watch his show on Friday and hope that there's something there. But when all these other pieces behind the scenes are falling apart, you go, well, now I'm going to watch his show with train wreck expectations.
Sure, right. You're going to watch it the way that you go like, oh man, what's going to happen this time? Yeah.
Yeah. Or are things going to just fall down? Are they going to try and do shocking things and go like, who's head of creative? Santino. And he's like, hey, I know you're doing a bit right now. Right. I'm not, I'm legit not doing that. No, I'm dropping the accent. Right. Fuck you guys. Like, I'm not taking that on. I still have natural, not gray hair. So I'm not doing this. So I found this other story. So we'll talk a little bit something serious first, and we'll have something a little bit more lighthearted as our main story.
Great.
So a very big serious thing is happening with the Janelle Grant lawsuit. It is delayed because the Justice Department has requested her to do such, because they said, hey, if you pause your lawsuit against Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis, we have a case that we're working on. And she is, I don't know if acquiesced is the right word, but she has agreed. She has agreed to do so. And it is currently not known what it is. We know the Department of Justice had raided Vince McMahon's home sometime back, and they got something.
I wonder. Yeah. God, I wish I could ask my sister about this, about like what it could mean. But from my understanding, it's they're pretty much saying like, hey, hold off on that because it might be an easier case to try once we do this other thing first.
Yeah, because that's being totally ignorant to all things lawful because I'm a good citizen. I was wondering for the sake of Janelle Grant, right, who's tied up in this and going like, all right, talk to lawyers and I'm paying lawyers, right, that she's not going to be out a ton of money or having to keep waiting and going like, well, I've invested my time and money into trying to receive what she's trying to receive overall. Like, right. If it is just justice and seeing McMahon having pay a lot of money or go behind bars, whatever it is, right. That's on hold and she's not going to be compensated for that. Like Department of Justice is not going to go like, hey, here's $10,000. Just chill out for a bit. We'll get you more later.
No, right.
That she does get to do the case later, that whatever they do with Vince and whatever happens, that it's like, oh, then yours happens later. That part I'm a little unclear on.
I mean, that's what it seems like. It seems like they're literally saying, because it says postpone. They're asking to postpone, not to cancel, not to set aside. They're literally just saying like, we're going to do this other thing first because they can't happen simultaneously. And the likelihood is they want these things to be done in a specific order because precedents might be set in one case for the other, or the outcome of one becomes undeniable fact in another, which might, inspire something in some direction.
So you're saying like Department of Justice does their trial and the charges are massive and severe and he's found guilty and all sorts of things happen and they're proven. And then the next trial with Janelle Grant would be, well, as the jury knows, this man, Vince McMahon, has these counts.
They
and
also
all this,
they also might be connected because for all we know, the things that they found were proof of other instances that are similar in nature that the Justice, Department might be trying on behalf instead of a specific person. You know what I mean? Like, where it's not like they're not asking for a person to come forward and say, this is the thing that happened to me, but it's more about like, we're aware of these things that have occurred. I don't know. I could probably ask my sister about all this.
Does she know what the Department of Justice has got against Vince McMahon?
Is this happening in New York or Connecticut? Where is this happening?
Earth, I know.
Because if it's happening in New York, she might have information that we don't. I don't know that she'll be able to tell me or that she'll trust me with it.
And let me see here. I'm just kind of skimming through this. So yeah, Miss Grant has consented to a request by the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York.
I mean, this is something that my sister
you gotta stick around.
Might be privy to. She probably knows, because here's the thing is like, she probably knows all of the attorneys involved. That's kind of how it works. It's like one of those things where she might be familiar with some of the players, and therefore might have some inside information. I don't know.
You could be on the jury.
I don't think I can. In fact, I think that I can't because I'm not a New York resident.
Because you trained to be a wrestler.
I'm not a New York State resident.
Damn it. We'll become one.
They're going to be like, have you ever watched wrestling? I was like, yes. They're like, we can't do this. They're like, who's your favorite villain of all time? Mr. McMahon. Who's the greatest?
Dixie Carter. So there's that. I mean, that's going to be major. That's going to be something huge. That it already has a weight to it where it's like, oh, he's very fucked.
Tangentially, just because he's pals, good old buddy pals. This episode airing, the one that we're recording right now, will come out the day that Trump gets his sentencing. So that's fun.
Really?
So the people listening right now already know whether this fucker's going to end up behind bars or not. But we still have it to look forward to. We don't know. We also might not know about being let down, which is also a real possibility as well.
I feel bad. This is like this is not a slight to you, but it's the feeling when you say like, Hey, someone on our Discord said this thing. I don't remember who it was, but I remember what they said, and I was very entertained by it, but I can't give credit to this person. There is a person on TikTok. I'm going to attempt to find him real briefly if I can. They have done a character on TikTok ever since the pandemic of this right-wing anti-mask, anti-everything, I don't know, reason. And they, when the judgment came down for Trump, he immediately started with, how are you going to treat a WWE Hall of Famer this way?
It's not the dude that Johnny did that podcast with, is it? The redheaded guy with the big beard? He's a comic. I forget his name, but Johnny did a podcast with him called like The Lunch Table.
That's a lot of people.
The Lunch Table or something like that.
That's a lot of, I feel like a lot of funny people these days are like, he is a redheaded guy with a beard.
Yeah.
But I don't,
I know who you're talking about. Yeah. God damn it.
Brent.
Yeah.
Terhune?
Yes, Johnny does a podcast with this dude.
Oh, is that right? I didn't know that.
Yeah. At least I think they did at one point. I don't know if it's still happening.
I mean, to be fair, who hasn't Johnny done a podcast with?
You're not wrong about that. Wasn't it called The Lunch Table? Johnny LaQuasta. Oh, God, I never know how to spell.
I can spell this guy's last name, too. It's his name on TikTok. BrentTerhune, and it's fucking hilarious.
But anyways, yes, no, that guy is fantastic. I can't hear that if you're playing something.
He just sits in his car, and he's got like this. He's always got these goofy shirts, goofy hats to help with the bit. And he has always ended it as the video sign off with a horrible cough. Because when it all started, it's clearly the COVID creeping in, and then it gets worse and worse and worse.
Yes. By the way, the podcast I couldn't come up with it's called The Cafeteria. And it's Johnny, Brent, and someone named Ryan Nemeth. Ryan Nemeth. That guy's great. That's a really funny character he's been doing forever.
So I can imagine that when Vince stuff happens, he might jump in on that too.
Yeah. You mean Johnny, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Hey, you want to do a podcast with me, Vince?
All right.
The Undertaker does one now. Oh, okay. I'll do it. All right.
On some, maybe, I don't know, some sweet justice news. Vince McMahon.
Some SJN?
Yes. For SJN of the week, Vince McMahon not allowed at WWE headquarters or the gym.
That he designed with his trainer. Oh my God. He's not allowed on premise anymore.
So this is according to a former longtime WWE employee, Tom Carlucci, who first started with WWE in January 1988 and worked in various roles with the company throughout the next 3 decades. At the time he was hired, only 10 employees worked on WWE's production, and Carlucci was a guest in the Insiders podcast recently and told host Conrad Thompson that McMahon is not even allowed in WWE's new headquarters. Quote, he can't even walk in the building. That's crazy that you drive by the building. You got the big championship belt. He always wanted those from day one, Conrad, because we were in 2 different buildings. He had the corporate office off exit 9, and then we're right down the street from the corporate office, our big production studio. He always wanted us under one roof. That was his dream, to have us under one roof. The dream came, and he's not even a part of it anymore. And he says, going on, the gym was created for Vince. He designed the gym with his trainer, Mike, who I know really well. He can't even go into that gym anymore. He can't step foot anywhere. Every meeting that goes on over there, everyone asks, is Vince coming? You'll never see Vince here again, from the TKO people.
Yeah. Well, shouldn't have been a sex trafficker. Shouldn't have been human garbage.
That was the thing.
Yeah.
That was always the
I
thing
remember.
where I had heard about, as stuff was going on, that it's Vince would show up and he'd still work out because that's his gym, either at the old headquarters or the new headquarters, that he's there so much of the time because why wouldn't he be? He's a bodybuilder. That's his thing. That's his outlet. He's working out. And you build what's always been the top of the line gym, right? We've seen it throughout the years, and
Performance Center is a version of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's nuts. And you, as an old person, you go like, I got the best thing again. It's gotta be his fucking favorite thing,
right?
That anybody,
I mean,
whatever their outlet is,
he literally
like
built himself.
You built the best bar. You built the best fucking.
He built himself his
retro video
his
store.
own Disney World for just himself.
Yeah.
And then they were like, bye.
Yeah. Oh, you can't be in your own gym anymore. But can I go see my dinosaur T-Rex head?
No, we gave that to Kevin Owens to match his tattoo. We knew he loved it so much.
We're going to put it on a golf cart so we can drive it to the next year's WrestleMania. Yeah, it's nuts. It's I wonder if that hits hardest.
Oh,
it's like, oh, you can't book for the shows anymore. Like, yeah, whatever. I don't care.
Knowing his ego, 100%.
And then where's he working out?
At home. I'm sure he's already had the people build the exact same thing at his house.
You don't think he's pulling like a Sami Zayn or every AEW character that he's putting on like a dark hoodie?
No, I think he puts
walking through the front of the headquarters and he's like,
what was the Hogan, Mr. America?
I'm Paul Levesque. How are you?
What was
good to see you?
I was gonna say, what was the Hogan? Is it Mr. America? What was the Hogan Patriot mask?
Yeah. Well, that's why he's got that mustache and nobody recognizes.
Yeah, he's wearing a lucha mask with a little Hitler stash, and that's how he a little toothbrush, and that's how he's hiding his identity.
Vince has that mustache now. He wears a top hat, comes in twirling it, and goes like, "Howdy do."
You know what the hardest part is? Hiding that walk of his. Oh man, gives him away every time.
Well, it's a post-workout walk, so they don't know when he goes in because he's shuffling in like an old man with a cane. And then as he walks out, oh, it was him again. Dag nabbit.
He sends selfies.
He must have tried to go in a couple of times, right?
He sends Jim selfies.
To go past.
Go ahead. Say yours.
Don't you think like he tried a couple of times?
Tried.
It's like trying to get on the Warner Brothers
lot. Get in. Sorry, there's a little bit of a delay here. Yeah, definitely. There's definitely a few of those, like, we know it's you. It's like
name Mince Vic Man.
He's in the trunk of Laurinaitis' car.
Just drive in. Say you're Shane.
He has on.
I left a family photo I need.
Yeah, exactly.
Of my family. Name your wife. Oh,
it's him trying to blend in with like a tour group like that they give. It's like it's like there are people who have won like a giveaway. It's like it's like Make-A-Wish kids show up. And he's like, where's Drake Maverick? I want to put him in a chair and push him around. He's like, find the smallest person he can and say that he's a child. And then he pushes them. Yeah. I'm just here with my son. Here with my son. He won something. He wants to meet John Cena.
I'm Khan. Your first name? Oh shit. Which
Tony.
one is it? Tony.
Anthony.
He doesn't work here. The other one. The one I like. Mick. Get out of here. God damn it.
Well, listen.
You think he's just at the desk going like spilling fucking the beans on everybody else?
Do you remember?
He's like, do you know how many women Stone Cold hit? You let him in here?
Do you remember when I think it was like one of the later seasons of The Office where Andy either got fired or quit, but then he like kept hanging around the office and they made him wear like a visitor badge, which was like very belittling of him. That's what they're doing. They're like, listen, if you're gonna be here, you have to sign in.
He's like, I'm on the walls. Like I rebranded.
Too fucking bad.
It's not yours anymore.
Shame that you didn't have like a wrestling sketch comedy show that you could really put this bit into practice with, Scott.
Yeah. I can't think of any wrestling comedy outlets that have ever been a part of that could potentially entertain like 11 people for it.
Well, too fucking bad. You said we did have like a fun little thing at the end there. I mean, it ended up being kind of fun, to be honest. This is the fun thing. Yeah.
I didn't have that story.
This is good stuff.
I scoured for it.
Well, that'll do it for all of this news. Thanks for filling us in on all the happenings, Scott.
We have a hotline, people. Call it.
747-666-5606 is the number of the Pro Wrestling Palskis hotline, or you can send a voice.
We didn't get any calls this week. It bums me out.
You can send a voice.
I like to hear
a voice
from
memo to hotline@pwpalskis.com. You can send a voice memo to hotline@pwpalskis.com. And
who's going to Cleveland? That's what I want to know. Who's going to Cleveland for SummerSlam? That's in one of those hubs that you can go from many a different place and head out there for that. Or are you planning on going to maybe the next All In? Like what I want to know, people, do you have wrestling plans for the year? WrestleMania's happened. Did you not go? Did you go like, I'm saving up for this thing? Is there something you're saving up for? You're planning to attend? That's a big deal. Are you going to go see fucking Raj Desi? What are your plans? Let us know. Call the hotline.
Maharaj Desi. So yeah, call the hotline. We'll take all those fancy calls, put them on the air. You'll be on the show with us. Just bitching and moaning. We of course have a Patreon. We mentioned it earlier. Please consider showing your support of the program. It's the best way to support the program and keep us doing it is by going over to patreon.com/pwpalskis. There's so much stuff there. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of episodes that are evergreen, that aren't like news of the week stuff. They're evergreen. They're watch along series. There's different series about, our topics on broad stroke stuff from the past. There's just so much stuff over there available to you. And of course, you get access to the live streams when they do occur. Obviously, we were not live today, but we will be live next week. You get access to that, and you get all of it the second you sign up. It doesn't start from the moment you sign up and then move forward. You get the entire back catalog, which also means that you get the video versions of all the old episodes. So if there's an episode or two that you missed, that you're like, oh, I want to listen to the WWE Encyclopedia episode 10, and I missed it when we did the podcast audio version. I can watch it this time. I can see the book. You can go back and watch the episodes as well, but you don't really talk about that a lot, but they're just there. The live streams just exist as video versions of the podcast. So that's all there. You
can also get a discounted rate if you want to buy in bulk, unlike TNA and their code's not working.
Right.
You can sign up for in bulk of what you want on our Patreon and get a discount. And I want to mention also for the watch along series, we've been doing themes every month, different themes. And this theme for this month is once in a lifetime. At the time of this recording, Jake has seen one of them.
I have.
But it's matchups that these wrestlers only wrestled each other one time ever. So this past week was Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas.
I still can't believe it only happened once.
It only happened once. And we're watching matches this month that have only ever happened one time ever.
So yes, please consider checking that out. Once again, that's patreon.com/pwpalskis. It's the only way that we can do the program. So please consider showing your support if you enjoy it. Listen, unlike TNA, we offer discounts and everything works over there. But like TNA, the next few weeks are going to be a little rocky. Or next few months, I should say. Alexandra and I.
And we will have broken Matt Hardy?
Question mark? Depends on whether he gets...
No, he's dead.
Whether or not he gets in touch with Jeff. We have begun our process of, I guess our plan, of getting back home.
The final solution?
Ooh, I don't like it. I don't like that.
Oh, okay.
That's terrible.
The first solution?
We're going to be leaving New York here in a couple weeks. We're going to be spending some time with Alexandra's family in Texas. Unfortunately, Alexandra, they lost her grandfather just maybe 2 weeks ago now. And so we're going to take this opportunity to go spend a little time with her father there because we have not, got to see them in person in quite a while. So we're going to go spend some time there. I don't know what the podcast setup is going to be like while we're there.
So her father doesn't have a podcast studio is what you're saying?
I will obviously be able to set up and record with Scott. Whether or not we will be able to do the video versions at that time, we're not sure. So Scott and I will probably try to stock up on at least the watch alongs ahead of time. So that we have them throughout that process. And then that's going to be probably from July to August to September. Then in September, we'll be heading back to LA, which means pretty much in July, I'm going to be doing some traveling and some settling. And then once again in September.
You're a settler? Oh, it's going to be like Oregon Trail.
Yeah, it's like Catan, except we're dropping the settlers of. It's just Catan now. Oh. But so just a heads up, it's kind of chaotic. And even though those are the plans for travel, the prepping around that travel, work around that travel has been a little bit tough because I've taken a full-time job just to kind of make as much money as we can pre-move. Just you guys know what moving is like. It's fucking expensive and annoying. So we're like, let's just stock up and make sure that we're doing this well.
Yeah, but it's cross country. So doesn't that make it easier?
Yeah, it's cross country in 2 halves. So it's renting all the stuff that we need to rent twice instead of just once.
Yeah.
So
and you don't have a place yet on the West Coast, right? So
no, not yet. No.
That makes it easier. You can go wherever you want.
The world is our oyster. But yeah, so
you just have to drive by and see a sign of a place that you like, and then just pick up that sign and go, we'll take it.
That happens in the movies.
Yeah. Is this not a movie podcast?
It's not a movie world. It is a movie podcast. We just lie to people. But it's not a movie world that we live in. Like things actually don't happen that way, unfortunately.
Oh no.
I know, it's terrible. So I'm just saying all of this now and letting everybody know what the plan is, just because we're going to do the best we can to keep to our usual schedule. Scott and I are usually good with stocking up on the Patreon stuff, so that's always there. But as far as our live streams being live streams at their right times, it might be a little bit rocky for the next few months. And the episodes, as far as like always having a news and something extra, there might be some weeks where we go weeks at a time without news because we've done some stuff early. We're just going to be...
There might be a lot of fucking encyclopedias.
So I just want to give a heads up, but, hopefully everybody sticks with us and, we keep it loose here to begin with. So it should be just par for the course.
There's ways to still interact with the show with as sporadic as it might be with a hotline. So when we record, we're always happy to include hotline calls. That's an easy way to also do shows for us, that if we know we have a whole ton of hotline calls, that is an easy way to just create something and do that, as well as chatting with the Discord, doing that. And we're going to try and make it work best we can, but it'll be a little wonky because someone's got to get the new settling in life and see family and all that
Cali,
stuff.
Cali. Yeah. It's a lot. It's a ton of shit going on, but, do the best we can to set the time aside, Tamina, and make sure that I have, I have some time allotted to the Palskis because I like hanging out with Scott. I like
some.
What do you say?
Some. Emphasis on some.
Just a little.
Like a dash or a pinch. Like when you're cooking.
Yeah.
A pinch of salt. That's what you get.
Like, what's his name? Emerald? Is that his name? Just bam.
Oh, he fucking ruins food left and right. That Legacy.
But he hasn't ruined Dot's Homestyle Pretzels. Palski's brought to you.
He would.
Hopefully, eventually, by Dot's Homestyle Pretzels.
Well, I'm excited because we talked about doing like a root beer session.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Yeah. Trying all the different.
Before you had left.
Or cream soda. Was it root beer or was it cream
beers.
sodas? I think it was creams. I think we were talking about creaming all over the place.
I think it was both.
Okay,
really.
yeah. Why not?
Because ultimately, cream soda, it's vanilla.
Sure, of course. But, there's definitely some
they don't go crazy
companies
with it.
that are a little bit better than others. That's what we talked about. And they're all some form of Hank or Henry or Heinrich.
Yeah.
Lots of fun stuff planned for the future that will eventually come. And eventually I will be back in the same time zone as Scott and business as usual. But it's going to be a hectic 4 months for everybody this side of the Mississippi.
Well, good luck with that, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
Until then, hey, we got Patreon Palskis we got to thank. And we have a new Retribution name this week. We had a new sign up last week, so we're going to hand out a Retribution name for them, but that's coming up in a little bit. I'm going to save that one till last. And this is the only show that hands out Retribution names as well as maximum male model names. Why? Because Vince McMahon can't have one because he's barred from that too. If we find out he signed up, he can't have one. So we just give them to the real fans out there. So thank you to AJ0314, aka Binary, aka Matrice69, Alex Pierce, aka Figs, aka Zitoys, Andrew Beeler, aka Pollen Hate, aka At You Detest, Curtis Mason, aka Hurtis, aka Ouche, Gilbert Short, aka Goliathon, aka Batal Underoos, aka the current PWP champ, Mass Llama, aka Spitz, aka Jakara Lover, Michael Beltran, aka Limestone, aka La Naturel, Miguel Diaz, a.k.a. Bipod, a.k.a. Too Much Husk, Mike Lucas, a.k.a. Hackensack, a.k.a. Luger Testicle, Suicide, a.k.a. Tim Bemis, a.k.a. War Trek, a.k.a. Tussle Quest, Tim Redbeard, a.k.a. Bloodfuzz, a.k.a. Blue Diffuse, Tom Hader, a.k.a. Cupid, a.k.a. Cherub, Tony Griggs, a.k.a. Big Griggs, a.k.a. Grand Grisois, and our latest and greatest Patreon Palski, Shay to Slay, now with the Retribution name of Privates.
How do you spell privates?
Privatez.
Oh, it's so Retribution-y. Yeah, listen, Shay to Slay already kind of has a Retribution name. And we don't know who they are currently. We don't know if we're familiar with them. We don't recognize the name, the email. They are quite privates with a Z. Thanks to each every one of you for your continued support of the program. We do appreciate you tuning in. Please make sure to follow us on social media. I'm at Jake Lloyd Bacon. He's at Scott Narver. We are at PW Palskis. Check out the shop, dragonwagonshop.com. Snag yourself a PWP hat for the summer. A bunch of different styles.
Hot dog
we
shirt.
Got flat brims. We've got builds. We've got all sorts of nice hats. We've got great t-shirts. Maybe you need to snag yourself a new t-shirt. Maybe a hoodie for those cool summer nights once it gets a little breezy in the evening. Get yourself a phone case. Hot Dog-a-mania is running wild over there. There's tons of great designs. Please consider snagging something from the shop. It really goes a long way in helping us. And I think that's about it. It's been a while since we've touted reviews. Hey, leave a rating or review for the program. If you haven't done one in, 7 years, just go update it and they'll bring it right to the top. Ratings and reviews are a nice, fun thing that we get to read. Whether or not at this point in time they're helping people find the show, I don't know. I have no idea how a podcast works anymore. But you know what? It does help Spotify because you can now leave a rating on Spotify. So even if you listen over...
People love Spotify.
Even if you listen over on Apple, head on over to Spotify, find the show, and just leave a 5-star rating. That'll help people find the program over there because I do think Spotify now is having a little bit more natural growth for shows than Apple is, just because old shows are finding new audiences. And so that's all the stuff. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We hope you had fun. It is always a blast hanging out with you, the Pro Wrestling Palskis.
Hey, thanks for listening to Dragon Wagon Radio. If you're enjoying this show, check out dragonwagonshop.com and get yourself some sweet merch while supporting your favorite indie podcast network. That's dragonwagonshop.com.
It's Dragon Wagon.